Hey guys, welcome back to the BuzWeaver channel. And in our top stories today from Fox News, migrant truckers sue California DMV over canceled commercial driver's licenses. DMV sent cancellation notices citing expiration date errors on non-domicile commercial driver's licenses. Now, you may recall earlier this year where we covered the fraud that was going on in Florida where they were selling CDLs to illegal immigrants. And of course, we already know the damages and deaths that many of these accidents from these individuals holding these CDLs have caused throughout the United States. The California DMV is facing a lawsuit brought on behalf of nearly 20,000 immigrant truckers over the state's plans to revoke their commercial driver's licenses. The Asian Law Caucus and the Sikh Coalition, along with the law firm Vail, Gottschall & Mangus, LLP, filed the lawsuit on Tuesday in an effort to stop the California DMV from canceling the CDLs, which the complainant says would result in mass work stoppages starting January the 5th, 2026. The class action lawsuit is brought on behalf of the Jakarta movement, the five commercial drivers who have been deprived of their rights and livelihoods. A joint statement from the Asian Law Caucus and Sikh Coalition said, according to reports from the San Francisco Chronicle and KQED California, state officials communicated they would be reissuing licenses on December the 17th. Despite this public assurance, the state has neither reissued any of the contested licenses nor created a process to remedy the date, with no indication that it plans to do so before January the 5th. So they've been issued these licenses, and now, of course, some of these, I assume that some of these are going to be legitimate. Illegal aliens failed CDL test 10 times in 2 months before fatal Florida crash that killed 3. Of course, you may be familiar with those. The DMV is required to set the expiration date for a CDL given to an immigrant on either the same day or before the expiration of the driver's work authorization or legal presence documents, so forth and so on, as we know. So they're suing now for these privileges that were given to them. And this was also echoed here from the New York Post. But let's take a listen to what Sean Duffy had to say here on Breitbart News.
As we've done this nationwide audit, we found the worst offender, which is the state of New York. 53% of New York's non-domiciled CDLs were issued unlawfully or illegally. Now, what New York does is, if an applicant comes in and they have a work authorization for 30 days, 60 days, 1 year, New York automatically issues them an 8-year commercial driver's license. That's contrary to the law. That's one offense. But we also found that New York many times won't even verify whether they have a work authorization, they have a visa, or they're in the country legally. So they're just giving 8-year commercial driver's licenses to people who are coming through their DMV and sending them out on American roadways. And again, they're endangering the lives of American families.
Exactly. And so this is being addressed. And of course, when you give things to people and then have to take them back, or in the situation we're seeing here in the United States here at the beginning of the year, you know, Congress created the laws that ICE has to enforce, Immigration and Customs Enforcement. And so they're out enforcing those laws. But of course, the Democrats have tried everything they can to try to stop this by issuing stays and challenges in the court. And of course, finding judges that are willing to try to stop Donald Trump, if for nothing else, then for the review of the law, really. Because what he's doing is legal. He knows that he can work within his boundaries as the chief executive. And of course, he knows when he would have to consult Congress. And of course, they go back and forth on this flip-flop back and forth, where they mock Trump for not going to Congress and then mock Trump for going to Congress. So either way, he just can't win. And we can see the distribution here from Ground News, which is quite interesting. Of course, this is all happening over the holidays. And, of course, it's a slow news cycle, but these are some very important stories that have come out. Of course, we all know all the activity that has been going on with incidences that we saw there, of course, at Brown College, and, of course, now leading up to this continuation where immigration is a continuing focal point. But nonetheless, guys, I want to thank all of you for your guys' continued support. Let me know down in the comments section, just like when we covered this in Florida, what your thoughts are on what is happening here. Are we finally seeing some progress being made here to address the immigration problem and this CDL problem. So let me know down there if you held a CDL at one time or you did any type of commercial work. I know my cousin is a driver, is a trucker. So he has got his CDL there. Of course, he waited nearly 20 years to become a citizen here in the United States. So this makes things very interesting. But nonetheless, guys, I want to thank all of you for your continued support. That's everybody on BitChute, Rumble, and Odyssey. New Tech, as we call it. And you guys have been amazing. And, of course, everyone here on YouTube. Thank you so much for your continued support as we move into the new year. But it's been a very interesting 2025. But nonetheless, guys, appearing there on the screen, that's going to be the channel icon. You guys can click on that if you're watching on YouTube, of course. And then, of course, you can subscribe by clicking that, as well as to select notifications. That way you know when there's content here on the channel. And I'll see all you guys in the next video.